My child, listen to me carefully. Before you hear anything else today, before another thought can distract you, before another voice tries to speak over mine, I want you to breathe deeply and focus only on what I am about to unfold. What comes next is not meant to scare you, but to awaken you. It is not meant to confuse you, but to give you clarity that has been withheld from you for far too long. There is something moving around you, something poisonous, something wearing a mask so convincing that even your spirit struggled to identify it. And today, I must pull that mask off. You may not realize it yet, but someone in your life, someone who has walked close enough to hear your heartbeat, someone you allowed near your dreams, someone you trusted without questioning, has been injecting poison into the roots of your destiny. She does not carry a blade, she carries venom. And she hasn't been planning your downfall for days or weeks. No, my child, her intentions reach back much further. She has observed you, studied you, copied you, envied you, and at times even praised you, not because she loves you, but because she wants access to the parts of you she cannot create for herself. My beloved child, you have been living beside a snake disguised as a companion. You sensed it, didn't you? That uneasy tension that appeared when she walked into the room. That strange heaviness you felt after spending time with her. That sudden anxiety that came out of nowhere. That confusion, that exhaustion, that sense of being watched. Those weren't random moments. They weren't just feelings. They were warnings from deep within your spirit, trying desperately to alert you to the danger that your mind couldn't identify. But she didn't enter your world through confrontation, anger, or force. No, she slipped in quietly. She came smiling, gentle, subtle. She appeared harmless, almost fragile. She carried stories of her struggles, her pain, her disappointments, hoping you would open your arms, your heart, and your home to her. She studied your compassion, your loyalty, your kindness, and she weaponized them. Not because you deserved harm, but because she saw something in you that threatened everything in her. And now, after years of crawling through the cracks in your life, she has finally reached a position where her influence touches things she has no right to touch. That is why I had to come to you now. This is not just a warning, this is a divine interception. This is my hand stepping into your story before she reaches the part she has been waiting to destroy. You think the damage she caused was limited to small arguments, misunderstandings, or moments of instability, but my child, you have barely scratched the surface of what she has done. She has been tearing away pieces of your life while pretending to hold it together. The destruction she created was not loud or noticeable, it was silent, strategic, and intentional. Like a termite chewing through wood, she weakened your structure long before you recognized something was wrong. Let me show you what she has already corrupted. She has interfered with relationships you valued deeply. She whispered half-truths into ears that once trusted you without hesitation. She twisted your words so subtly that people believed she was defending you while she was actually planting doubt. She turned small misunderstandings into full-blown conflicts. People didn't drift away because you failed them, no, they drifted because she fed them stories she invented in the shadows. She played victim, all while pushing others away from you. She has also targeted the peace within you, digging holes in your confidence and shaking the foundation of your emotional balance. She pushed anxiety into your heart through carefully disguised comments. She introduced insecurity into your life through comparisons wrapped in compliments. She made you question your abilities, your decisions, your worth. She made you feel the weight of guilt that didn't belong to you and the pressure of expectations that were never yours to carry. She didn't steal your peace loudly, she drained it drop by drop until you felt empty. And beyond your relationships and peace, she has attacked your name. There were times you wondered why someone reacted strangely, why certain opportunities closed unexpectedly, why doors that seemed wide open suddenly slammed shut. You blamed circumstances, timing, bad luck. But behind every shift was a lie she whispered to someone who believed her. She built an image of you that looked distorted, unstable, or self-centered, all so she could rise where you were meant to stand. My child, this is not a mistake. This was her strategy. But you must understand something even more important. Everything she has destroyed until now was only preparation for what she plans to destroy next. And what she is preparing to target is not physical, not emotional, not social, it is spiritual. She is moving toward the core of your destiny, toward the part of your life that shapes everything else. She is going after your future itself. You have been wondering why your dreams feel delayed, why your efforts feel blocked, why your progress feels slower than it should be. You thought you were losing motivation, but in reality, she has been pulling strings behind the curtain, dragging your blessings away before they reached your hands. She has crossed from manipulation into a darker realm. She is drawing from the kind of wickedness that hides behind rituals, intentions, and energies that you cannot see with your physical eyes. And whether she even understands what she is doing or not, she is being influenced by spirits that thrive in chaos, confusion, and destruction. You were not imagining the change in her aura. You were not imagining the coldness in her tone. You were not imagining the strange sense of danger from her presence. Your spirit recognized the shift before your mind could interpret it. My beloved child, she is preparing something far more dangerous than jealousy or gossip. She is preparing to strike at the very roots of your destiny. She is not coming for your present anymore, she is aiming for the parts of you that extend beyond this lifetime. She wants to contaminate your lineage, your calling, your blessings, your next generation. She wants to poison the soil you are building your life on so that nothing growing from it will thrive. She wants your future to collapse before it begins. But hear me clearly, that is why I am speaking to you now. This is your moment of awakening. This is where the fog lifts and the truth finally appears. I am stepping in, not because you are weak, but because you are chosen. Chosen people are always attacked earlier, deeper, and harder. Chosen people always attract enemies long before they understand their purpose. Chosen people carry oil that others crave but cannot produce. She knows something about you that you have not fully accepted yet. You are destined to rise. You are destined to break cycles. You are destined to carry light where darkness ruled for generations. You are destined to build something that will outlive you. And because she cannot stop your calling, she is trying to corrupt your path. But I will not allow her to succeed. This is why I called you to listen today. This is why I needed your full attention. This is why I have been stirring your spirit. Because the moment you hear the truth, the deception loses its power. The moment light enters, darkness cannot remain. The moment revelation arrives, manipulation collapses. You have stepped into that moment. My child, now that you have seen the surface of her intentions, now that your eyes have begun to open, there is something far more serious you must understand. The destruction she caused before was merely groundwork. She was testing the boundaries, studying the reactions, observing what she could get away with. Every small damage she inflicted was a sample, not the full storm. She was measuring how deeply she could infiltrate your world without being detected. And when she realized that you trusted her, that you viewed her presence as harmless, that you didn't see the venom behind her smiles, she began constructing her next move. You must understand something essential. She does not act out of sudden anger. She operates out of long-standing obsession. This woman has been fascinated by your life in a way you never imagined. While you were living your days normally, she was watching every detail, your strengths, your resilience, the way others admire you, the way blessings follow you even in seasons of difficulty. She saw how you kept rising after every setback, how you held hope when others would have collapsed, how you carried a light that made people feel safe around you. And instead of being inspired by you, she became threatened. She wanted what you carry, but she does not have the capacity, the discipline, or the purity to walk in your calling. So she chose the only path available to her. To weaken you until you became a reflection of her own emptiness. My child, this goes beyond envy. This is infestation, darkness searching for somewhere to root itself. And she chose you. She targeted you not because you are weak, but because your spirit shines so brightly that it exposes her own shadows. She could not compete with you openly, because she knows you would surpass her even on your worst day. So she did what the serpent in the garden did, she slithered in silently and worked undercover. And what she is preparing now is not childish revenge or emotional retaliation. No, my child. It is calculated. It is intentional. It is spiritually engineered. Let me show you what she has been crafting behind your back. Lately, you've noticed a strange heaviness around you. Days where you wake up already tired. Moments where your mind feels blurry, unfocused, as though something is draining your clarity. Times when your emotions shift suddenly without explanation. Nights where you cannot sleep deeply, or you dream of confusion, confrontation, or shadows. My child, that is not your imagination. That is not stress. That is not random. That is the residue of her interference. She has been drawing on an old, corrupted method, something she should have never touched. She has aligned herself with energies that were never meant to be accessed. Whether intentionally or ignorantly, she has opened a spiritual doorway that allows darkness to move through her like a host. You have been dealing not just with a woman, but with what she has invited into her heart. And now, she is attempting to release something dangerous, something designed to distort your path before you even see it unfolding. Let me tell you what she plans next. Her next target is not your relationships, nor your peace, nor your reputation, those were only the foundation. What she truly wants is far more sacred. She is aiming for the part of your life that determines your entire destiny. She wants to place a shadow over your purpose so deep that it transforms the outcome of your life. She wants to silence your future. This is why the attacks suddenly intensified. This is why opportunities that were once smooth suddenly became complicated. Why people who once supported you became distant or confused. Why your motivation sometimes disappears abruptly. Why things that used to bring you joy now feel emotionally heavy. You thought you were losing passion, but you were being spiritually targeted. My beloved child, the enemy often begins by corrupting the internal world before infiltrating the external one. If he can make you doubt yourself, if he can make you question your worth, if he can make you feel exhausted, isolated, or discouraged, then he can weaken the foundation of your destiny without ever touching it directly. That is exactly what she wants. She wants you distracted. She wants you unstable. She wants you doubting your identity. She wants you second-guessing your direction. She wants you vulnerable to spiritual attack. Because when you are overwhelmed, you let down your guard. When you are drained, you stop praying with power. When you are confused, you lose discernment. When you are discouraged, you stop dreaming. When you feel hopeless, you disconnect from your destiny. And in that weakened state, she plans to strike. But here is what she does not know: you are not alone in this battle. You belong to me. And everything that belongs to me is protected. That is why I'm speaking right now. That is why this revelation is unfolding now. This is the moment where her influence begins to collapse. But before I expose her final intention, I need you to understand the depth of the spiritual war around you. There have been moments where you felt watched even when no one was around. Moments where your mind wandered to dark corners without reason. Moments where arguments erupted unexpectedly. Moments where you sensed tension in the atmosphere. Moments where you felt drained after interacting with her. These were spiritual disturbances. Her presence carries pollution. She has been releasing negativity into the spaces you inhabit. Words spoken about you behind closed doors have spiritual weight. Thoughts meditated on with jealousy and resentment send ripples into your environment. Actions done with manipulative intention create invisible cords. My child, you have been entangled in webs she crafted quietly. But now the web is breaking. Because as soon as truth is revealed, deception loses power. As soon as light enters, shadows dissolve. As soon as awareness rises, manipulation collapses. And that is why she is becoming more reckless lately. She senses your awakening. She feels the shift in the atmosphere. She knows something is slipping out of her control. That is why her attitude has changed. That is why her conversations feel different. That is why her energy feels darker. That is why you feel unsettled around her. She is rushing. She wants to attack before you fully see her. She wants to strike before you protect yourself. She wants to destroy before you step into your season of restoration. But let me reveal the deepest truth now, something she could never prepare for. Her ultimate target is your lineage. Your future children. Your generational blessings. Your legacy. Your name. Your destiny's extension. She wants to plant dysfunction into your bloodline. She wants to birth chaos where there should be inheritance. She wants to create generational patterns that trap your descendants. She wants to create emotional fractures that echo for years. She wants to spoil what heaven has ordained. This is why you've seen sudden tension in your family. This is why certain arguments came out of nowhere. This is why cycles you thought were broken have tried to reappear. This is why certain illnesses or fears surfaced unexpectedly. She is trying to poison the foundation of what you are meant to build. My beloved child, understand this clearly. If she cannot stop your present blessings, she will attempt to contaminate your future blessings. But she underestimated something critical, the authority I placed on your life. Because the moment you hear truth with an open heart, the curse begins to reverse. The moment you awaken, the chains begin to break. The moment you recognize her for who she is, everything she planned begins to crumble. And now, you are awakening. My child, you were never meant to live confused. You were never meant to walk in silent spiritual attack. You were never meant to tolerate this venomous presence. You were never meant to be surrounded by hidden darkness. You were meant to live in clarity. In purpose. In protection. In divine awareness. And that is what I am restoring to you now. But listen closely. There is still more I must reveal. You must know how she gained access. You must know when the poison entered. You must know why she chose you. You must know what she plans in her final attempt. You must know the spiritual mechanism behind her influence. And most importantly, you must understand the antidote. Because the final part of her plan is already forming. And I cannot let you walk into it unaware. Everything you sensed but couldn't explain, every strange shift around you, every disturbance in your peace, every sudden change in people, every whisper in your intuition, they were not accidental. You were being watched, studied, and spiritually profiled by this woman long before you ever suspected her intentions. But now, it is time you see how she entered, why she targeted you, and what her final move is before I destroy her influence entirely. Let your heart be steady, my child. For the truth I reveal now will feel heavy, but it will also liberate you. Because truth is always the beginning of deliverance. My child, listen carefully. This venomous woman did not infiltrate your life overnight. She did not appear suddenly, she evolved. There was a moment, long ago, where she made a decision. A quiet decision. A dark decision. A choice wrapped not in anger, but in envy. You see, envy is not loud. It does not scream. It whispers. It observes. It waits until it finds the weakest point to strike. Envy is a silent thief, and she allowed it to consume her long before you ever understood the depth of her obsession. But where did this begin? It began the moment she realized you possessed something she never could. Not beauty. Not talent. Not success. No, my child, something far more rare. You carried favor. Your life has always attracted divine help, even in your lowest seasons, even when you had nothing to offer, even when you were broken, lost, hurt, or misunderstood. People saw something in you they didn't see in others. Doors opened for you that remained closed for many. Blessings found you even when you didn't chase them. And light surrounded you even when you were in dark places. She saw that. She saw that glow. She saw that grace. She saw that heavenly protection. And instead of celebrating it, she resented it. She wanted to walk in your footsteps, but she lacked the soul to carry the weight of your calling. So instead of elevating herself, she decided to pull you down. That was the beginning of her descent into darkness. My child, now hear me clearly, there was a moment where her envy transformed into something far more dangerous, a vow. She made an inner vow that she would remove you from the path of your destiny, and she began studying every detail of your life so she could attack with precision. She learned your weaknesses. She memorized your patterns. She watched your emotional cycles. She monitored your connections. She observed your dreams. She noted what lifted you and what broke you. She didn't want to hurt you temporarily. She wanted to dismantle you completely, quietly, gradually, invisibly. And she nearly succeeded. But then, something shifted, a deeper darkness began whispering to her. It called to the wounds in her heart, to the emptiness in her spirit, to the bitterness in her soul. And she opened herself to energies not meant for human hearts. She did not search for healing, she searched for power. She did not seek growth, she sought control. She did not desire peace, she desired influence. This is where her descent into spiritual manipulation began. My child. I must reveal what she has been using. This woman has tapped into forces that do not come from light. She has opened herself to spiritual whispers that promise results but demand destruction. She may not even understand the depth of what she has invoked. She believes she is simply influencing situations, adjusting outcomes, shifting energy. But she has ignited a force that operates with one purpose, to corrupt anything touched by divine destiny. She has unknowingly become a vessel of spiritual sabotage. That heaviness you sometimes feel? That sudden pressure on your spirit? Those moments of random sadness or anxiety? Those sudden waves of fear or doubt? Those moments where your dreams become cloudy? Those were the effects of what she released. She is trying, through intention, energy, emotion, and spiritual manipulation, to create cracks in the foundation of your future. My child, you must understand, darkness cannot attack your destiny directly. So it attempts to destabilize the vessel carrying that destiny. That vessel is you. But what she does not know is that you are not unprotected. Because every time she pushed darkness toward you, my hand intercepted it. Every time she wished destruction on your path, angels blocked it. Every time she tried to weaken your spirit, I strengthened you quietly. Every time she attempted to attack your lineage, I placed a shield over your future. Her intentions were real, her actions were strategic, but her success was limited, because heaven has marked you. Now, my child, let me show you her final plan. This is the part she believes will finally break you. The move she thinks will sever you from your blessing. The strike she has been preparing for months. She wants to interrupt your alignment. Every blessing coming your way is connected to timing. There are divine appointments, divine relationships, divine breakthroughs, divine opportunities that heaven has scheduled for your life. She wants to misalign your steps so you miss what is meant for you. She wants to place distraction in your path at the exact moment you need focus. She wants to stir conflict right when you need peace. She wants to weaken your confidence right before your elevation. She wants to block your intuition during critical decisions. She wants to frustrate your spirit so deeply that you begin doubting your purpose. Because if she can disrupt your timing, she can delay your destiny. And if she can delay your destiny long enough, she believes you will lose faith. She believes you will disconnect from your purpose. She believes you will stop believing. She believes you will crumble under pressure. She believes you will question your calling. She believes you will give up the future heaven designed for you. That is the final level of her plan. But what she doesn't know, what she cannot comprehend, is that your destiny is not fragile. It is unbreakable, unshakable, untouchable. Because it comes from me. She cannot destroy what I established. She cannot rewrite what I have written. She cannot corrupt what I have blessed. She cannot access what I have sealed. She cannot contaminate what I have purified. She is fighting against a child I have chosen. And that is a battle she cannot win. My child, now we enter the most important revelation. How did she gain access to you? Where was the door? Where was the opening? It was through trust. You trusted her. You allowed her near. You confided in her. You shared dreams, wounds, hopes, fears. You let her sit close to the parts of you that were still healing. But you must hear me, trust is not a weakness. Trust is not a flaw. Trust is not a mistake. Your only mistake was giving loyalty to someone who never earned it. You were pure in your intentions, she was polluted in hers. Your kindness opened the door, but her deception built the trap. Do not blame yourself. Do not feel foolish. Do not feel misled. Do not feel defeated. Darkness always hides well, until the moment light arrives. And now the light is here. My child, now that you have walked with me through the shadows, now that you have seen what was hidden, now that your spirit has awakened to the truth, this final revelation is not a warning, it is a verdict. Everything that was concealed is now exposed. Everything that was draining you is now identified. Everything that manipulated your destiny is now brought into the light. And I want you to understand something very clearly, the moment truth appears, deception loses its home. The moment light rises, darkness collapses. The moment revelation comes, the enemy's strategy dissolves. You felt the heaviness before, you sensed the confusion before, you endured delays, disappointments, heartbreaks, thinking life was being unfair to you. But now you know. It was never life. It was never fate. It was never coincidence. It was always her. The venomous woman who hid behind smiles, who disguised herself as caring, who acted concerned while planting destruction, who stood close only to monitor your spirit, who pretended to support you while sabotaging you in silence, she believed she could control the narrative of your life. But now she faces something far greater than your hurt. She faces the consequences of divine interference. Because you are not standing alone. You never were. You never will. My child, there is something you must understand before I reveal her final downfall. Every attack she released was built on illusion. Every plan she formed was built on assumption. Every curse she attempted was built on ignorance. She believed you were unprotected. She believed you were spiritually vulnerable. She believed you were walking blindly through life. She believed she could manipulate outcomes. She did not know that heaven had been watching her all along. She did not know that angels monitored her whispering. She did not know that divine fire surrounded your spirit. She did not know that every strategy she formed was already neutralized. She did not know that every time she tried to harm you, I overturned it quietly. She did not know that the reason she never fully succeeded is because she was fighting someone who belongs to me. She thought she was damaging your destiny, but she was only revealing her own downfall. My beloved child, you never lost your blessing. Her influence only created fog, but beneath that fog, your path remained untouched. She interfered with your relationships, but she couldn't touch your purpose. She targeted your peace, but she couldn't touch your anointing. She attacked your name, but she couldn't touch your spiritual identity. She tried to corrupt your future, but she couldn't rewrite what heaven has written. Her power was borrowed. Her influence was fake. Her actions were limited. Her authority was non-existent. Because only I have the final word over your life. But, my child, now you must hear the truth she fears the most. The truth that destroys her influence forever. The truth she hoped you would never discover. Are you ready? Lean in. The very destiny she tried to destroy, is the destiny you are about to step into. The very blessing she tried to delay, is the blessing that is finding you now. The very future she tried to poison, is the future that will bloom brighter because of her attacks. The very lineage she tried to touch, is the lineage I have sealed with protection. The very path she tried to derail, is the path that is now clearing at supernatural speed. She came against you at the worst time. Right before your season of overflow began. And that is why her attacks intensified. The enemy always increases pressure when your blessing is minutes away. She fought you the hardest because what's coming for you is the greatest shift of your life. Now listen, my child, because this next part is sacred. Her influence ends today. Her spiritual access to your life collapses today. Her emotional influence over your decisions ends today. Her ability to send confusion or disturbance ends today. Her spiritual thread into your destiny is cut today. Her assignment against your lineage breaks today. And do you know how? Because I am stepping between you and every attack. I, the Lord your God, am placing a divine barrier around your mind, your future generations, your calling, your name, your legacy. From this moment forward, no weapon shaped against you will advance. No trap set for you will catch you. No strategy formed against you will hold you. No curse spoken about you will cling to you. No darkness aimed at you will enter your space. Because her influence has been revoked. What she opened spiritually is now sealed. What she attempted to attack is now reinforced. What she tried to poison is now purified. What she tried to damage is now restored. What she tried to delay is now accelerated. Your destiny is now under direct divine surveillance. My child, I want you to feel this deeply. There is a shift happening around you right now. A spiritual earthquake. A cleansing wind. A divine interruption. A breaking of invisible chains. A collapse of every hidden attack. You are stepping into a new atmosphere, one where her shadow does not exist. You will notice the change. Your sleep will feel lighter. Your mind will feel clearer. Your relationships will heal. Your home will feel different. Your spirit will feel protected. This is not imagination. This is deliverance. Now listen to the final truth, the truth that seals the entire message. The reason she targeted you is because your future is enormous. The reason she tried to destroy your identity is because your purpose is powerful. The reason she tried to corrupt your lineage is because your children will carry greatness. The reason she tried to ruin your relationships is because heaven is sending kingdom connections. The reason she tried to break your peace is because your spirit is chosen for a divine assignment. The reason she attacked your name is because your name is written in spiritual places where hers will never reach. You were never the problem. You were the threat. She did not hate you because of who you are, she hated you because of who you were becoming. She saw the future God aligned for you before you saw it yourself. And she feared it. But what she feared most is now unstoppable. Because no force in darkness can stand against a child of light who has awakened to the truth. My beloved child, this is the final decree, you are stepping into a season of unstoppable elevation. Your enemies are stumbling. Your spirit is rising. Your name is being restored. Your path is being cleared. Your purpose is awakening. Your breakthrough is releasing. Your victory is guaranteed. And the woman who tried to destroy you, will now watch you rise, from a distance she can never cross again. This is the end of her influence. And the beginning of your divine destiny.